Yo, 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 what's up? This is John from Judge Innovation Garage in the Peach Capital of the state, baby. Ah, let's go. Wakey, wakey, hand off snaky. Look, I even put a table up here, and look, as soon as I put this table up here, Hollywood had to jump his big fat donkey ass right up on the table. Ah, Swanee. Yep, let me get all these messages so I don't miss nobody. Oh, well, look at her. Carolina Big, Elko, Impala J. I appreciate it. So, I'm going to go and tell y'all right now. I'm going to go and tell y'all right now. I guess this would be the official. I guess this would be the official day with no caffeine. The official day. Can't say yesterday. I took 2 swallows of that Red Bull and poured it out on the ground. And I hadn't had a swallow of caffeine. Oh, shut up. You hear them crows laughing at me? I had 2 swallows of that Red Bull yesterday. I don't know, what was it, 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever time it was. And I poured the rest of it out on the ground. So I guess the day is the official day with no Red Bull. But I'm drinking the hell out of some daggone Pedialyte. I got a headache so bad I can't even stand it. So, no more Red Bull for me. No more Red Bull. No more Red Bull. So, what do you want? What do you want? Let me tell you what he wants. That's what he wanted. Oh. So let me show you. I set up. What's up, cars? So I set up and went online and found a universal wiring harness, which I kind of knew where all the wires went anyway, but I just, wanted to put pen to paper, So I pretty much know where everything's going. Yeah, don't mind us. Yeah, don't mind us. We just working around here. Why don't you go do something with that hair? I mean, what? I mean, we trying to work around here. Look, there's time for a pussycat to be rubbed on you, and right now ain't it. I'm just letting you know. So, this is work time. I can't even get to the table. That sun gun. So anyways, let's get right there. So, got this table. Yeah, don't mind me. I mean, the floor ain't good enough. The floor ain't good enough. The floor ain't good enough. You had to get up here on my table. Huh? Some of a bitch. Yeah. So, I got my crimpers out. If you boys and girls don't have no crimpers, y'all need to get y'all some crimpers. All right? Here's some crimpers. These right here is Hilo X-Ray 50 Bravo. These right here got you some crimpers. I got me some ends. I got some more ends I gotta order some. Actually, what? See, I order these ends. I order them by the bags, fools. And then this is the crimper tool. So I'm running out. I don't even know what these, why did I put them in there? So anyways, nevertheless, so just been pulling some wires. We're gonna pull a few wires and we're gonna make some grommets, or we're gonna make some ends. I taped up the battery. The battery's fully charged, but I taped up the positive side of the battery because I don't want nothing to touch it. I don't want nothing to touch it and arc off, you know what I'm saying? All right, so this purple wire here, the wiring harness in this car is good because it's new, but it's just ugly, but we're gonna make it nice. I gotta order some more Alex split sleeves, some 1/2 inch and some 1 inch. But this purple wire here goes down to the starter. Yeah, these right here. Oh yeah, these right here, these are grown, these are big boy stuff right here. Look, you push this little button right here and you just turn it to whatever end you got. I didn't tell you to turn so Carolina Big could rub your belly. Yeah, so these right here, these are the cat's meow. You want me to rub your belly? Now there, I'm done, damn it. All right, so this purple wire here, all GMs are about the same and universal. So this purple wire goes to that small pin right there on the starter, all right? And then this red wire, this big heavy duty red wire, it goes to the big pin on the starter, all right? That's where that one goes, all right? Then I had this one already made up. I had this one made up for something, and I just don't know. I don't know what I had this one made up for, and I was honestly hoping that this one will reach from that pin to the battery, but I don't know if it's gonna reach. I don't think it's long enough. That's what she said. I don't think that's long enough. I don't think it's long enough. I don't think it's long enough to hide it. I think it's long enough. It might be long enough to get there, but it's not long enough to hide it. So, but I got plenty of wire. Here is some wire that was already on this car. It's good wire. I just need to clean it up. And once it's all wire loomed, it'll be all right. So that's that. I don't know what that is. Okay. So let me show you what I've done so far. So we've pulled the wires. We've pulled the wires back up on the firewall where they're supposed to go. Now we are going to wire the loom this. This plug right here is the plug that was plugged in the old HEI distributor. So we're going to use that one. I'll catch up on the comments in a minute. So that one right there plugs into the distributor because it's an HEI distributor. It's going to plug up on it. Look where I was cutting all that plastic off that wire. That plug plugs in right here, which is the tack and the battery, because this thing's got an HEI distributor on it. So that's good on that. This wire right here, I think, is the exciter wire for, yeah, this is the exciter wire for the alternator, which is right there. And then this purple wire, what did it say this one was? This is the tack. So this one actually needs to go back in the car, but I don't know if he's gonna run a tack. He might. Might's growing chicken's ice. This one right here has no label on it, but it's red, so it's 12 volt. So we don't know what that one is. We don't know what it's for. And then this is a ground. We don't know what that one's for. But let's get over here. Also, we got the red wire. I think it's red. I think it's red. There's an electric choke wire. Where it be at? There's an electric choke wire, because this thing had an electric choke on it. But let me give you a little tip. Let me give you a little tip. The wire, I had it labeled. There's a wire here that says electric choke. We can use that for a 12 volt key source, because this thing don't have electric choke. That's all electric choke wire is anyway. It's just 12 volts to heat up the heating element in the carburetor. So on cold starts. So this thing doesn't have an electric choke. So therefore, if I need to use that red wire for a 12 volt key on source, I can use that. Yeah. Yeah. So with that being said, so this purple wire and this red wire, we got to make a grommet. See all this electrical tape that's on here that's just cooked. We're gonna try to get as much of this off as we can. Not on camera. I'm not gonna bore y'all with that crap. But this purple wire here goes to that pin right there. So we're gonna make a grommet for it, and then we're gonna make a grommet for this red one right here. It is a Blueprint 350, 400 horse, 400 foot-pounds of torque on fuel injection, JJ. So we're gonna put a grommet on this one, but that grommet has to be big enough to go on that pin right there. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I want to run the wire, and I'm still contemplating on it. So it's going to run through this grommet here. Once we put a wire loom on it, I'm going to run it down behind the firewall, come down here, and then probably grab that pin right there. I have some wire connector, or have some wire clips. I'll probably grab it right, grab like that, grab it in there, right? Tuck it in here nice and neat, give it enough slack, and then run these wires this way, straight in there, and grab that. So I'm thinking if I cut it somewhere about right here, that'll give me enough room to put me an eyelet on the back of the transmission when I go back there, and I can put me a wire loom eyelet to pull these wires where they're not so tight. There's some things you like, some things you don't. And you also got to think the exhaust too. We got to think about the exhaust, where the exhaust is going. So we need to tuck them up. All right, Randy. Why go with cheap wires? I don't know. I'm glad you showed up to the show, because see, apparently you don't understand what's going on. But let me inform you something. Let me inform you on something today, because today I'm in one of those moods. These ain't cheap wires. It's a brand new wiring harness that somebody else already put in the car, and they never used it. They just wrapped it up and stuck it in the corner. It's got overspray on it. It's got all kinds of shit on it. You know, it's got shit on it because you don't know how to wipe your butthole. But see, today's the day. Today's the day, because let me tell you, if you missed it, you should have tuned in the other day See, that's what happens. A blister shows up when the work's done and don't know a damn thing that's going on. They just open their mouth and start running it because they don't know what shit's going on, because they just showed up and they just like a damn blister. They show up after the damn work's done. You see this right here, big dog? Somebody already put a brand new wiring harness in this car. Brand spanking new. Somebody put a brand new spanking wiring harness. And they zip tied and stuck everything up underneath the dash, and then electrical taped the shit out of it, and then stuck it up underneath the dash and said, there you go, have a great day. And they didn't finish it. So what we're doing is we're going back and finishing it. So it never understands. So you say you don't never understand why people use cheap wires. I never understand why people open their mouth and they don't know the whole damn story. How about that? So, there, I said my 2 piece of it. So, I have went through the wiring harness and unrolled everything, and we laid it, unrolled it and labeled it. Just like I said, they took a brand new wiring harness and they taped the ever-living shit out of it and stuck it up in a ball and told the guy, said, nice luck, here you go, you figure it out. See, right there, look, it's not cheap wires, big dog. It's gonna be one of those days. It's gonna be one of those days. It's gonna be one of those days. Hey, Randy, why don't you do like a cat and go lay down and be quiet? How about that? Why don't you take after Hollywood and go lay down and mind your business? Stay in your lane. Stay in your own damn lane and hog it. How about that? How about that? All right, boys and girls, let's get back to work. 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 So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, so we're gonna find the right end that goes on those, and then we're gonna crimp it onto those with that. Sorry. Hey, Carolina Big, you asked me where I got these ground straps at the other day. Carolina Big. Carolina Big. You remember you asked me where I got these ground straps? That should be good about right now. Hey, Carolina Big, I get all my ground straps from LMC, man. Go to LMC Truck and type in ground straps. That's where I get all my ground straps. Unless I make them. Now, if I make my ground straps, I make them out of number 2. If I make my welding straps, Carolina Big, if I make my ground straps, I make them out of number 2 gauge welding wire at Tractor Supply, and I make my own ground straps. So yeah, I get these right here from LMC Truck. So we're just gonna hook up the starter. We're gonna hook up the wires that we have, and then we're gonna go from there. Let me go get me some wire And I got to get some wire loom. I gotta go make another run to get some more wire loom, boys and girls. Get some wire loom. We're getting a little bit of rain today. All right, so this red wire here, this red wire right here is going to go to the main pin on the starter. So we have to find a grommet. Let me show you. Let me let you live with me. So we got to find a grommet, or we got to find a eyelet that will fit it's not going to be that one. We might not be doing that right now. Fam, we might, hold on. This one right here might fit. This one right here might fit. Let's see if this one fits. Let's see if this one fits. Then we're going to pre-fit it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I got one left. I got one left. That's what I told her. I got one left in me. I got one left in me. So this is a number 6. All right. So that's gonna work out pretty good right there. So we're gonna skin this bad boy back. Yeah, I knew it had to be raining up there. We wiring up this Blueprint engine. Cameron Baldwin. So make sure you get your wire loom slid on there. Don't forget to put your wire loom on before you put your grommet on there. All right, so now this is the fun part. Now we take these crimps. We'll go to number 6. So go to the number 6 setting. Number 6. Got the number 6. Bam! Just like that, boys and girls. Just like that. Smashed. Smashed. You put your wire loom on it like that. Let me go get the heat. Let me go get the heat gun. I was trying to remember where I had it last. Do you put electric grease on before you crimp them? No, but that's a good idea. That is a good idea, Chris. That is a good idea. But no, I've never. All right, so we're gonna do the purple one. We'll do the purple one the same length. So we'll cut the purple one right there. Caroline Big, you said loop it. Hold on, I seen that. What did he say? Loop it off. No, Cars in the Cut said loop it off. Are you talking about this Cars? I think I know what Cars is talking about. Most snap-on strippers. These right here are, I've had these sun guns a long time. Trimmed a little bit. Let me see, I gotta get a smaller grommet or a smaller eyelet. Y'all hang tight. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to be going to the daggone parts store. Or might have to do a big old order on Amazon, because I'm getting down to the nitty gritty on my grommets. Little grommets. Trim that a little too long. Talked to the client yesterday, and he was happier than a pig in shit, boy. He was happier than a pig in shit. All right, let's put, don't forget to put your wire loom on. Now, we're going to wire loom the whole harness with that Alex split loom. Since this was a small one, I can do it with these right here. All right, let me tell you a little tip right here. All right. You see these little crimps? They're completely solid all the way around, right? I don't know if y'all can see that. They're completely, it's a solid barrel all the way around. You know, some crimps or some wire connectors has a split at the top, right? Well, if the wire connector has a split at the top, you need to put the split in the valley and the pin on the solid, right? So when you put it in there, the pin needs to be on the solid and the split needs to be in the valley, right? Because if you put the split on the pin, when you go to crimp it, it's just gonna fold it open, right? Be like prom night, baby. So these are solid, so it really doesn't matter. But, so we're gonna put that in there like that. And I'm gonna get some dielectric grease because that's a pretty good tip there, Chris. Put it in there like so, like that. Give it a little squeeze. Bam. She's in like Flint. The bolt cutter's 3000. Then you're gonna put your wire loom up there like so. Get your daggone heat gun out. Damn it, boy, I pulled her too far out. Slipped out. Everybody ever had that happen? Slipped out. Just like that. In like Flynn. So, what we're doing here is we wiring up this right here. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. No, this is not an old decrepitated damn wiring harness. It's a new wiring harness that somebody wrapped up in tape and stuck it up underneath the dash, and it just looks bad. It's actually a nice wiring harness. I'm just cleaning it up. This is what we're doing. This car had no engine in it yesterday morning, and started about 10 o'clock. And about 3:30 or so, 4 o'clock, had the engine in, had the inner fenders in, had the air conditioner in, had all this thing. So that's that. And then you can see right there where we deciphered all the wires. Holly, you decided to get your ass. See, we pulled the wires out. Somebody already put a new harness in, as we discussed, and then they just wrapped it up and stuck it up underneath the dash. And then the other day on the live, we went through here and we labeled all the wires from that wiring harness that somebody's already put in. I honestly don't even know how the car ran, honestly, to be honest with you, because none of the stuff that actually supposed to be hooked up was even hooked up. So I don't even know how. And I don't throw no wire away. I don't throw. No, that's a 7 booster. It has a disc brake conversion on it from Eastwood. No, Speedway. Excuse me, Speedway. Speedway Motors. It has a disc brake conversion front and back from Speedway Motors. So, I will show you this. So I did this before camera and I forgot. So this is just mocked up. This is going to be the alternator wire. This is going to be the alternator wire. It's going to run down. See my grommet I was talking about? It runs around that trough, runs down through there, comes all the way back around, comes up back here, hides there, comes up, bam, right to the alternator. So that's that. So I got to get some more. I got to get some more of these. I used a fire out of these, man. These right here, Harbor Freight. So like we went through the wiring harness. And I looked up all the wires and we wrote it down. And then here's the little short shrink wrap. And then I just buy zip ties. Every time I go into Harbor Freight, I buy a bundle of zip ties. You can't never have enough zip ties. So that's that. Disc brake conversion, so it had to be made to work for disc rather than drums. What? Do what, Constantine? Constantine, I don't understand. Disc brake conversion. It had drum brakes on it, correct. Took the drum brakes off, put disc brake conversion on it. By putting disc brake conversion on it, you had to change the master cylinder and the booster because this car did not have power brakes. It just had manual brakes. So with that being said, you had to put a 7-inch dual master cylinder or 7-inch dual booster, right? Yeah, 7-inch dual booster and a Corvette big bore, and then the GM proportional valve. And this is your brake light, so I got to wire that up too. The engine runs. I've already ran the engine on the stand. We've already ran the engine on the stand. So, all right, these wires are cooled down. So let's go ahead and get them where they need to get. All right, y'all, I'm gonna set y'all down right here. I apologize for the bad camera angle. I don't know where my 360 stick's at. I got a Amazon delivery and it says it's out for delivery. It's been out for delivery for a couple of days, so I have no idea where it's at. So might have to cancel the order and do another one. I don't know. Nevertheless, we're gonna get it in here whether it's wrong or right. And I might have to crawl up underneath it. I don't know. I should be able to get it right here. I wish I had a cameraman. Tulu! Tulu, where you at, Tulu? Tulu lives too far from me. I know if Tulu lived closer, I know he would definitely be my cameraman. Best believe that. Like I said, we're just mocking everything up right now. Putting everything where it needs to go. And then we'll get some wire loom ordered today. And then hopefully it'll get here before too long. And then we'll wire loom this son of a gun up. I know everybody wants to hear it run. Crank it up, fire it up, fire it up, fire it up. You gotta be patient, man. You gotta be patient. If you want to hear it run, go back and watch some old videos of the startup and you can hear it run. We're not going to premature do anything where potentially mess something up. I mean, really ain't nothing messed up. I mean, it's already done. We just don't want to have to do stuff over. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody. I know this is not real interesting. I know it's not real excitement. I know you probably don't want to see my face. That's okay. I'm trying to give you a little bit of information. I know people wire their stuff up and then they just hurry up and do it. They just hurry up and do it, and then just to hear it run or drive it, and then they don't never go back and fix nothing, and then you can have issues. You have shorts, you got ground issues, you got all this crap going on because you premature try to hurry up and get to it. You can't treat it like prom night, boys and girls. You got to treat it like you've been there for a while. If you know what I'm saying. You picking up what I'm laying down? All right. I'll turn y'all boys around. What happened? Just broke a piece of razor blade off of my eye. Lucky I got it out for this some damage. Dang on, Impala J. What are you doing over there? You trying to get attention over there? Sheesh. Hey, I've got pieces of metal in my eye before, and I feel it hit and I stop and I don't move. Let me show you. Let me put my phone down so I can show you. I'll be in here grinding with safety glasses on. Damn piece of metal hit behind the glass, hit the glass, ricochet, and hit my eye, and I feel it go doop, and I don't even blink. I just go. I stop, then I hold my eye open. I go under the mirror, and then I look. I look in there, and you can see the daggone piece of metal right there underneath your eye. And I'm gonna show y'all a trick. A magnet. Take a magnet and run it on the bottom of your eyelid, right? Rub the magnet on the bottom of your eyelid. Will it pull down? And sometimes it'll pull the pull the metal out. Let me see if I can find my daggone magnet. Right here it is. I'm gonna show you. Hey, this might save somebody's eyeball. Because the first thing you want to do is do this. You want to rub it. That's the first. Hey, first thing you want to do is rub it. Look, boys, we ain't on prom night. You're on your eyeballs, right? So let me show you. This right here might save somebody. Look, you're gonna have to be calm and patient. You're gonna have to be like, but let me show you. I got my stuff. I'm gonna show you. It happens to me a lot. So safety glasses on. Let me get my glasses on. I'll show you what happened. I don't even want to speak this shit into existence. But I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what happened. Had these safety glasses on, right? Piece of something hit ricochet, hit right here on the corner, right? Hit the glass on the front, bam, right in the eyeball. First thing you want to do is take it off and rub it and close your eye. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop. Reach up, grab your eyelid, and hold it down. Walk into the bathroom. Get your handy dandy magnet. Right? While you're holding your eyeball down like this right here. Take the magnet and rub the magnet on the bottom of your eyelid like that right there. Right? Oh yeah. First thing, instincts, rub it. But do this right here. You hold your eyelid down and take the magnet like this right here and rub it on the bottom like that and just keep rubbing it. You're not sticking it in your eye. You're just rubbing it right across the eyelashes where it's at. And if it's a strong enough magnet, it'll suck that piece of metal out. Now, let's say that you do accidentally blink and you push it down. When you blink, it's gonna put the dirt, right? It's gonna put the debris right there in the bottom of that sack, right? That's where it's going, right? Now let me show you another trick. If you're squeamish and you don't like stuff, you might as well turn your camera off. I'm telling you, if you're squeamish and you don't like eyeballs, you better turn your head because I'm about to show you something. Let me go over here and get on the table and I'm gonna show you, all right? That's probably where we should have done it the first place. Where'd that magnet go? All right, so let me show you this right here, all right? Yep. So if you get something in your eye, don't panic, don't rub it, don't blink. Reach up there, grab it, hold it, go to the bathroom, get you a magnet, and then take the magnet and run it around the bottom like that right there, and it'll pull it out, all right? If you've already blinked and you've already rubbed it, you have put the trash and the debris. I'm already warning you, if you don't like eyeballs, don't watch. You pull it down, it's down there in the bottom down there. It's in between that little crevice. It's in that crease, right? Right? Get you a piece of toilet paper. Wash your hands, right? I ain't even gonna wash my hands. Wash your hands. Take the piece of toilet paper, right? Twist that son of a gun up like that right there. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a warning right now. If you don't want to watch it, you better turn away. You can't get it out. It's down there in the bottom. Take that damn piece of toilet paper right there. Stick that son of a gun in there like that right there and just rub it across the bottom. And you'll get it out. Just fold that son of a gun back like prom. Fold that baby back like prom night, boy. You going in there, right? And just go in there and do that right there and just run it across that bottom, one direction. Hey, Q-tip works good. Just done. Save your life. Been drinking. I had some cucumber early. I don't know where it's at. But let's get back to work. Yeah. And then get you some real tears Visine. Get some real tears Visine and keep that crap with you too. Not that other shit. That other shit's garbage. Get some real tears. I'm done for today. So we got those in there like that. So we just, like I said, what we do is give enough slack. Give it enough slack, and we'll come right here and we'll grab that right there and see I got enough slack that I can tuck it up, and I can, right here I can pull that slack, do that right there. So that's that. Let's see, the other wire, this one don't have no label on it. I know it's not a lot of interesting stuff on here. Well, it acts like we didn't get a lot done. Got to get, I have to take, I got to take this off. This is the relay system for the fans. We got to put that up there. What else? That's about it. We got to remove this. This has got to come off here. Got to take this off. And the fuel pump relay. That's pretty much it. We got to take off the stand. And then we're good to go. So, hey, I tell you something else. That little welding ball, that son gonna roll down and hit your eye and go in there and let me tell you somewhere else. Hit the top of your shoe and run to the bottom of your sole of your feet. You'll play hell getting that shoe off trying to get that little bit. And I always wonder, Big, how is something the size of a BB, something the size of a BB can burn so hot and so long? I ain't never had one in the nose. So I got a few of these, so I'm gonna use these for engine ground straps, because you know this car had one that it was bolted to the back of the block and to the firewall. So I'm gonna actually take one from the engine to the frame, and then I'm gonna take another one, and I'm probably gonna go somewhere where I can hide it. I might have to do it from the bottom side. I'm not really 100% sure yet, but the other one was right here. It was actually right there. Now I don't know if that's where it was from factory, but the other one that we took off was actually right there. Because the hole's already there. So what I might do is I might clean this up a little bit, and I might grab it right there. And then grab it to there, since there's already a hole. The hole's already in the firewall. You know what I'm saying? There's already a hole there, and there was already a ground strap that was there, bolted to the back of the block. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably just clean this up a little bit and put a nut and bolt on there with a nylon lock washer and bolt it right there, and then run it over to not this bolt, because this bolt here is the bolt that's held the intake to the engine. I don't want to loosen this bolt, just because if I loosen this one, I might create a void right there, and it suck air and it not run right. So I'm gonna put it right there on that thing, and that's long enough to get there. And then there's the oil sending unit, and then I'm gonna test some wires with my power probe to make sure that these wires are still good. So I'll run some power. I'll check the ohms resistance in this with my power probe. We're almost at 60 minutes on this video. And then that plugs into right here where it says tack and battery. And that should be my 12-volt key source to get the HEI to work. So, does somebody have a question? So that's that. Also, I'm thinking about I'm gonna rotate. I don't really like that. That is actually touching the breather. So what I'm thinking about doing is rotating the valve covers. At least that one. Uh, I don't know. I'm probably going to rotate both of them because I won't be able to stand it with one here and one back there. So probably going to take the valve covers off and rotate them 180 degrees because that right there, it just came off. See, these right here just, see, it won't sit in there. So I think I'm going to rotate it where, I think I'm going to rotate both of them and put it where it's right there on the front. So we'll do that too. 400 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque. I mean, that's what it's sold as, 400. It's a blueprint engine, fuel injection. I think it dynoed like 367 or something and like 398 foot-pounds of torque. So they called it a 400. Yeah, that's what I just, I guess you're just tapping in, John, because I said that earlier. I'm going to go I always go from the block to the frame and then from the block to the body. So I always go, I put a ground strap from the block to the chassis because the battery goes to the chassis, right? And then I also do a ground strap from the core support to the chassis. So the core support has stuff in it as well, headlights and stuff like that, horns. So I take one of these small straps and go from the core support to the chassis, and then I go from the chassis to the engine, and then from the engine to the body. Oh, no, it's okay, John. No worry. No, man, it's fine, man. I welcome the questions. I mean, yeah, because everybody's tapping into the show at different times. No, you're fine, man. Ask the questions away. Ask away. We're just doing preliminary running because this car already had a wiring harness in it. Somebody already put somebody put a wiring harness in this car, right? And this car ran and drove, but I don't understand how, because none of the wires in the wiring harness that they put in the car was actually hooked up. They were all rolled up and zip tied. Serpentine kit. This right here is not a serpentine kit. Well, I guess you could call it that. This is called this is the mid-mount Holley setup from Holley. There's no brackets. Everything's bolted to the water pump. So it's based off of LT4. So there is no brackets. The water pump is the only thing that's bolted to the block. Everything else is bolted to the water pump. There is no other brackets. There's no more hinges. There's no more nothing. They make it for the big block Chevrolet, for the small block Chevrolet, and they make it for a Ford too, but I don't know which one. But this is T4 stuff. So if he needed to go get a new alternator, he could go to AutoZone, but it wouldn't be black. He'd have to get the black one from Holley. That's a LT4 style power steering pump. That is a LT4 water pump, and the cartridge comes out, the tensioner, and yeah, so. Yeah, it's a really nice setup. It's actually the first one that I've actually installed, and it's actually really nice. Also, here's something else. I don't use hose clamps. I do use hose clamps for the initial. Let me get my words right. I do use hose clamps for the initial startup and running and all that horse crap, right? But when it's all said and done, and I know everything's good, and when I'm doing startup, I don't run antifreeze. I just run regular water in case you have a leak or anything like that. So once this thing's up and running, everything's good to go. There's no leaks. Everything works. It should, because every bit of this right here ran on that engine stand. I'm just moving it from the engine stand to the car and then figuring out their wiring, which is, I've already got it written down on my notepad. So I already know where everything goes. I just got to get there, clean it up, wire loom it, make it nice and pretty. All right. So, but when it's all said and done and everything's good to go, I don't use hose clamps. I don't use them. What I use is these right here. This is what I use as hose clamps. These are heat shrink clamps. This is what they use on newer stuff. And they're really, really nice. But once you put them on, they don't come off unless you cut them off with a Ziz wheel. Can you help JT with that? Help JT with, I need for my 454, give me two. Call Holly. Call Holly Performance. And order, yeah, that's where I get all my stuff from, is Holly. I'll take 3. Yeah, so I use these right here. These hose clamps. These are heat shrink clamps. So once you put a heat shrink clamp on this and you heat shrink it, that sun gun is not coming off. It is not coming off. It is not. The only way to get it off is you got to cut it off with a whiz wheel or a die grinder. It ain't coming off. And then here, I just plugged this off to do a startup. But here is it has the fitting here on the back side for the heater coil, and then it has 2 down here if you want to run the 2 at the back. This hose here, they called this hose for this car, this flex hose like that. It says it was for a 63 Impala. So, I'm just going to use it. I bought it new at the parts store. And this up here, we had to trim this one because the original radiator had the neck way over here. So it had a long sweeper. So I just kept trimming it until I got it where it's at. Also, when you put in I'm gonna say this because Mexican Lee sent me a message on some stuff about small blocks running hot or building steam or whatever. So and this goes for all engines, right? This goes for all of these type of engines. You might not know this because he's plumbing up a 5.7 Vortec. And he says that they said that you have to run a bypass hose. So a hose comes here, and then comes out of here, then runs through there, and then runs back. So water is constantly circulating so it doesn't build up steam or gets hot and you can do all that, but there's an easier way. When you get your thermostat, when you buy a thermostat, if you buy a good thermostat, it'll have a shaker nipple. And what I'm saying is this right here. I don't have one, so I can show you, but I can draw it. So you got your thermostat, right? So you got your thermostat, and you got your ring that your thermostat sits on, and then you have your spring, right? And then you have everything in there, and then the top here, this piece here, looks like that, right? So it looks like that, and then it has the gasket in there. So and then that sets down into your thermostat, right? Okay, and then your water. So this is your engine, right? This is your engine. Not Eagles. What the hell am I thinking? Engine. And then this is the hose, right? And then you got the water that's going through here, right? So when this thermostat, so the way this, yeah, that's where I'm getting to. Yep, that's where I'm getting to. So here's what happens. When the block heats up, when your engine block heats up, it heats this spring up, right? And then that spring gets loose, it relaxes, and it opens the thermostat so water can flow through, right? So when people buy cheap thermostats that don't have the safeties or they have the bypass, then they have issues, right? So a lot of engine builders, they will drill an 1/8 inch hole or a 1/4 inch hole, or like Nathan said, make sure when you buy the thermostat, you buy the one when you're looking at it from the top. Over here on the corner, it'll have a hole, but in that hole, it'll have this thing. It looks like a damn mushroom kind of thing, like that, and it's brass, and that piece right there goes through that hole, and they call it a jiggler. And the reason why they call it a jiggler is because when that thing is like this right here, if you ever done any pressure cooking on a pressure cooker, you got the little jiggler thing. That's what that does. That piece is through the flange right here. It's through the flange right there. It's where it's at. So what happens, it's a jiggler, right? So when it builds up pressure, it pushes that thing up. And by pushing that thing up, it lets water skin by there. So it doesn't build up too much pressure, and you don't have hot spots, and you don't have water pockets or nothing like that. So the water is constantly flowing through there, but it's just going through that little jiggler hole, right? Right? So that they call it a jiggler. So what some race car driver or what some engine builders do, what they do is they go and they drill a couple holes. It doesn't matter. I know some guys that drill 4 holes. I know guys that drill 2 holes. I know a guy that just drills 1. But if I was going to drill 4 holes, I would do it like a clock dial. I would do like 12, 3, 6, and 9. And I would do 4 1/8 inch holes. And what you're doing is you're drilling a hole into that flange that actually sets down. And you know, your gasket's on the outside right here, right? You got your gasket. I'm talking about the metal piece. Drill 4 1/8 inch holes, right? If you only wanted to drill 2, then do 2 1/4 inch holes and do them across from each other, right? What that's going to do is that's going to let water flow through continuously as the water pump's turning and circulating the water, and you won't have hot spots, you won't build up pressure, and it just keeps going. Even if you get the one with the jiggler, you can do that. There was a 67 Impala that I done one time. It had the jiggler, and that son of a gun it had everything new, and it had a 327 in it, and that son of a gun would run. It wouldn't get too hot, but it would run like 205 degrees. I took that son of a gun out, and I drilled 4 holes, 4 1/8 inch holes in that son of a gun, and put it back in there, and then it would run like 185, 195. A jiggler or a dead weight valve. Yep, that's right, SSE. Yep, that's right, a jiggler or a dead weight valve. Yep. So that's a good little tip. And here's another thing, you know, I know a lot of guys out there are probably going to disagree with me, but on a small block Chevrolet, it runs most efficient at 185 to 195 degrees thermostat. I know they make 165 thermostats. I know they make them. Right? I know they make them. But for here in North Carolina, in the flats, 185 and 195 is where you need to be. If you have to run a lower thermostat to keep your engine cooler, you got other issues. Even at 200 degrees, the engine's fine. It's fine at 200 degrees. I know a lot of people don't like running at 200 degrees, but 200 degrees is fine, because when an engine is hot, everything is hot. Everything. It runs more efficient when it's hot. If it's cold, it just doesn't run efficient. If you don't believe me, look it up. What's the temperature of a most efficient running small block? And it's not 165. I'm telling you, it ain't 165. Now, if you really want to do the cat's meow, and you got all your stuff together, and your car's running good, and everything's running good, and everything is hunky-dory and all that, You got all your leaks fixed, you got everything going, and your car or truck is running like a friggin' sewing machine, right? Yeah. And your truck's running like a daggone, your vehicle's running like a friggin' sewing machine. So this car right here, if the client allows me, if he allows me, I'm going to suggest once everything's good and everything's running, it's got regular water in it, there's no leaks, the fans come on and everything's good to go and it's copacetic, and then it's time to put antifreeze in there. And he says it's okay, I will drain the system out and I will put the burp system on there and I will fill it up, but I will not fill it up with water. This is what I'll fill it up as. I'll put that right there in it. High performance, waterless engine coolant. Do not add water. It brings your boil point to 375 degrees. It eliminates hot spots. It fights corrosion. It lowers pressure and it protects to negative 40 degrees. That right there is the cat's meow. It's not cheap, but it's cat's meow, right? Because this right here fights corrosion. We can talk about electrolysis later because you're running current through the engine and you're also running a ground through the engine. We can talk about electrolysis later. How electrolysis breaks down the inside of the engine. How electrolysis breaks down the inside of an engine and has contaminants. So you do have corrosion inside an engine. It's because you have electrolysis. If you don't know what electrolysis is, this stuff right here is good stuff. Look, boils at 375 at atmosphere pressure. If you know what atmosphere pressure is at 375. This stuff right here is the cat's meow. It's good for boiling protection, all gasoline engines, light diesel, LPs, and CNCG engines. This stuff right here. It's Evans. I can look it up. Evans Coolant, right there. It's made in the USA. Evanscoolant.com, right? I think I got the last one I got, Impala J, was off of Amazon. Hey, have y'all ever seen where you can take, I want to do it one day. We're about to end this. I want to get a plastic tote and I want to hook a battery charger up and I want to put a piece of stainless in there and then I want to hook up the other one and then I want to put like some old wrenches and stuff in there with rust and old stuff in there and then hook up the battery charger and then do the electricity removal to get all the stuff out of there. So, but yeah, so it's evanscoolant.com. So, yeah. See, I still got 2 quarts left of it. Yeah, it works great. It works great. All right, boys and girls. I know we didn't do a lot today. Well, I did earlier, but just a couple of those wires. But let me get off here, and then I'm going to start pulling some fuel line. I ain't going to do that on live because I don't want to bore y'all with that because I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I'm at. So I don't know which way I'm going to route it. I don't know which way I'm going to put the fuel pump regulator. I don't know. But the next time I go live, the valve covers will be rotated, and we'll get there.